So, the long-awaited CHILCOT report has been released and is online for all to see. It took 7 years and £10 million to complete, and it makes Tony Blair accountable for the Iraq War. My theory coming up. There are already more videos, more opinions and dissections of this report than you can shake a stick at, and it's only been a few days. But as always, and if you watch this channel, you will know I like to think. I like to go into detail, or at least try to see what is really going on. Now, I have watched Tony Blair's speech, and I guess it's his confession on the report, but I have watched it a few times and really tried to take notice of what he said. I like to look past what is there on the screen, look past what we are being told, and this is what I have come up with. As Tony Blair insisted within his speech, he consistently said that he persuaded Bush to first get the okay from the United Nations to go into Iraq. But at first Bush just wanted to go, he wanted to invade, single-mindedly focused on going into Iraq. But why? Why did Bush want rid of Saddam Hussein so bad? The argument was, as we all know, that he had weapons of mass destruction and he was proposing to give them to Osama bin Laden. But as the CHILCOT report states, that the basis of WMD was presented with a certainty that was not justified. Now, I don't want to spend time in this video quoting and detailing the CHILCOT report because it's been done for us and we have been given a summary, so we know now why maybe that Blair shouldn't have taken us to war. This is about what is behind that, what is behind the smokescreen. And I'll say one word: oil. Iraq has the world's second largest reserves of oil, and as of 2000 there was not a central bank in Iraq. Now I say that because we all know who owns the central banks, but just after the invasion there was one. Bush said many times as well that Saddam was in league with Al-Qaeda, even as late as 2004, but there is no evidence of this fact. In fact, the 9/11 Commission's final report stated, arguing that the case for links between Iraq and Al-Qaeda was weak. The memo pointed out that bin Laden resented the secularism of Saddam's regime. Finally, the memo said there was no confirmed reporting on Saddam cooperating with bin Laden on unconventional weapons. And in a 2006 report of post-war findings by the United States Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, they concluded that post-war findings have identified only one meeting between Al-Qaeda operatives and Saddam's regime reported in pre-war assessments. Post-war findings have identified 2 occasions not reported prior to the war in which Saddam rebuffed requests from Al-Qaeda. And in the same report, it concluded that Saddam Hussein was distrustful of Al-Qaeda and viewed Islamic extremists as a threat to his regime, refusing all requests from Al-Qaeda to provide material or operational support. Did Tony Blair know any of this? And if he and Bush were as close as Blair would assume, if he didn't know about any of this, why not? So now I refer back to the CARLYLE Group, as I did in a previous video. They made a lot of money from the Iraq War, and the Bush family have a vested interest in the largest privately owned defence contractor in the nation. Dick Cheney was CEO of Halliburton, another military contractor that had massive profits from the Iraq War. Now, when the war started, Halliburton got $1 billion no-bid contract. Now, Bush could not go into Iraq on his own. He had to partner someone to make the invasion look less like a one-man mission to get what he wants. He had to make the invasion justifiable. And that's where Tony Blair comes in. Now, when I was watching his speech, and as I have said, I've watched it a couple of times, I can almost see, almost visualise Bush standing behind him, tapping him on the shoulder, saying, "Don't you dare. Don't you dare tell them, I'm warning you." And what he shouldn't be telling them is that Bush possibly put so much pressure on Tony Blair to go into that war, promised him riches beyond his wildest dreams. Again, as I've pointed out in another video, Tony Blair is now a professional speaker. And which company is he a favourite of? Yes, the CARLYLE Group, and he has earned millions from this relationship. Many times in his speech, Tony Blair said that he was sorry, that he acted out on the information that he was given at the time. But as the report suggests, the intelligence he did have wasn't justifiable. But when asked by a reporter at the speech if he would make the same decision, he said, if I was back in the same place, the same information would take the same decision. So the apologies mean nothing because he himself now questions the intelligence that he did have. He's repeatedly said many mistakes, yes. Lies, no. Secret deals, no. But has he ever come out and said what he has been doing since being away from the Prime Minister's slot? He said he travels to places like Iraq, meeting with locals, trying to put things right. Is this a cover story? If the media ever sees him or hears about him in this part of the world, his agenda has been covered. Bush Sr. was always in this part of the world. Why? He too was a professional speaker for the CARLYLE Group, trying to cut deals for the military contractor via introductions, even getting the Bin Laden family to invest more than $2 million in the company. Everyone I have just mentioned has made money from the Iraq war. I do feel that Tony Blair is slightly remorseful over what has happened, and internally he is screaming that Bush has landed me right in it. Although he says there were mistakes and the intelligence was not up to scratch, he can never say that he does not stand by his decisions. If he did, he would have to explain why. And with the power that the Bush family has, who knows what threats they have aimed at Blair and his family. Now bear in mind, before 2003 there were rarely any suicide bombings in Iraq. Sometimes you see someone using a tool, and if it's a good tool that someone uses now and again, and you realise, wow, that works and gets good results. Some may milk that. Is that what Bush did? Saw the results the rebels were having with these bombings and took that on and milked it for the use of fear. America created Al-Qaeda to fight the Russians. When this fight was over, did the members of this group see how much money could be made from weapons or even oil? America didn't like that, and they wanted to control the group. They wanted to control the oil. Or are they just hired mercenaries, hired by whoever pays the right amount to spread fear on a nation in order to control them? Has Tony Blair been made a scapegoat, falling into the trap of promising Bush, I will be with you, whatever? There are only two people that really know why they went into Iraq. With this kind of information out there, and no doubt I have left loads out, we can only make our own minds up. Can you put it on the shoulders of one man? I don't think so. There were members of Parliament that voted for the war too. I have said over the last few months that Tony Blair is a war criminal. That may well be true, but to make him accountable, you have to make everyone accountable. Now, I don't think the arguments for this war will ever go silent, but what I am afraid of is, will the families of the soldiers who lost their lives ever get justice from a war that it seems should never have taken place? Certainly with the inclusion of our soldiers. Should Tony Blair have said no to Bush? I feel at least he should have asked more questions. But as I have said today and previously, when you have someone as powerful as the Bush family, it may well be hard to say no. Do you agree with what was said in this video? Do you have any theories of your own? What do you think of Tony Blair's decision to go into the Iraq war? feel free to give me the thumbs up. Click subscribe and feel free to comment in the box below with any ideas that you may have on this subject. I feel that it's a subject that will go on for many years to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. That fucking dog.